Hello guys, welcome back to another episode of The Money Mindset, and as we promised you in the previous episode is that we are going to dive deep into the various types of wealth, and today we are going to deal with the physical wealth because we find that most people nowadays are busy focusing on finding the financial wealth and improving themselves, and yet they're forgetting that their physical health is also something that is really important.
Okay, so in physical wealth, this is a type of wealth that is based on our bodily health, both the mind and all the other organs. So the reason why we are trying to dig into the physical wealth is because most people usually ignore the physical aspect of health, because they normally tend to assume that they are okay since they never become sick. But afterwards, they come into shock when after checkup or after any severe attack in the body, they come to realize that they had been suffering from a certain disease for a long time. But they were not aware since they had no time to go for checkup. Most times, we have a tendency of using painkillers whenever we face some headache or stomachache. And yet, this is just an indication of the mind that something is wrong in the body. So, what we do, we take painkillers just to overcome and relieve the temporary pain.
But now the problem is, whenever you feel this pain is consistent, like you had a headache today, tomorrow the same thing happens, the other day the same thing happens, and you still think it is normal, and you just go over the counter, pick on painkillers and just take it, and you think it is normal. But the problem is something is developing within you, and you will not be able to recognize it if you keep on taking the painkillers from the chemist and you've never went to the hospital to check what is really happening.
And the reason why we need to check on our physical health is because we just need our body. We should not underestimate that fact. Our bodies are like machines, and when there is smooth operation in the company, it means that the machines have been well serviced and they are in order. Hence, there is a good performance. So that applies also in our bodies. If our bodies break down, it means we are poor physically. So just to encourage you before I proceed is that make sure that you frequently see a doctor, or when you start experiencing some funny symptoms in the body, don't underestimate it. Just go for checkup. You know, now the problem why most people don't go for checkups is because at times they feel like it's expensive, and they feel like I'm okay, like I'm feeling okay right now. Why should I go for a checkup? And I don't feel any pain. I don't feel like there's any problem. But the problem is one day you'll end up in the hospital and you'll then recognize that you are maybe in stage 4 or stage 3 of cancer, and you never had any idea. So people should just take it as another view, because at times you're busy making money. You know, you can even make millions of dollars, but it cannot be able to save you from some kind of diseases. It's so unfortunate that we have so many people who have been admitted in the world, yet their millions can't save them. So we should not underestimate our bodily health.
So our physical well-being is determined by what we take into our bodies. What we consume, either physically or even mentally, can determine how we function out here in the society.
So to add on that, our body functioning over depend on our daily habits. For example, if I can give an example of a factory, every factory depends on raw materials to have end products. For example, a sugar company depends on sugar cane. So the end product will be sugar. So for you to have a good health, you must be very careful of what you are taking inside the body.
Yes.
Even through the eye and the ear, that will eventually affect the mind.
Yeah.
So let's dig in on drug addiction, alcohol intake.
Yeah.
I do understand that in most occasions it is very hard to miss alcohol content in the parties and the
it is
events.
like a norm. It's like a norm nowadays. When you have a birthday party, when you have alcohol and the drug abuse is something that is like a norm.
Yet our bodies are not in need of any alcohol. So it means by taking too much alcohol, we abuse it and we put our body in danger.
Yeah.
So some of the effects of taking excess alcohol are risk of getting cancer,
diseases like high blood pressure,
poor
blood
performance.
Sugar, yes.
And then another thing is smoking. If you keep on smoking and smoking throughout, just know that you're physically poor.
Yeah.
Because eventually the smoke will become part of your system, and there will be a risk of getting cancer,
heart
diseases, such like things. Then another aspect that can ruin, that affect the physical health, it's taking good food.
Yeah.
You must be very cautious of what you're taking inside the body.
Yeah.
It's not just eating and drinking.
Yeah.
Take note of what you're taking. Like, if I can advise you, make sure that you are in your diet. You should not miss at least one type of fruit.
Yes.
Because according to WHO research, latest one, they recommend that we should take at least 5 varieties of fruit per day. And I know it might look expensive to some of us.
It is, yeah.
It might look expensive, but what I can encourage you, make sure you take at least one.
And you know, sometimes the problem is not that I cannot afford to buy that fruit. At times you just feel like we don't want to buy the fruit. If you have that curtained shillings, you prefer to buy biscuits or to buy chips or bhajia, and that looks like better off for you because you like the taste of bhajia, but you don't feel like you can buy an orange or buy a banana. Yeah.
So I know it's hard, but you can try to create a tendency or a habit for the sake of your body.
Yes, another thing is that some people, yes, the food is there for them to eat, but they can't create time for them to eat. Like, you're so busy with work, you find that maybe someone, because they're so busy with work, they go to work in the morning. When it's lunch break, they'll take chips. Then 6 in the evening, they'll just maybe go and take nyama choma and beer and then sleep. So that is their diet. So it's not that they can't afford the food, but they're just eating unhealthy foods.
Yeah. And then, besides eating fruits, I recommend that you take plenty of herbs and vegetables.
Yeah.
Then remember the natural foods like sweet potatoes, like cassavas, and so on. If I can relate, our parents are healthy, and their lifespan is tending to look longer than ours because they were used to traditional delicacies.
Yes.
So I know it's so hard to survive with the acidic foods, the modernized and the processed food, but try to limit the intake because it is slowly killing and draining your body. Because
like mostly for our grandparents, they were not prone to these diseases that we are prone to nowadays, like cancer and all those heart diseases. Because if you eat too much of this acidic food, you're just increasing your cholesterol, you're prone to high blood pressure, diseases, and all those kind of things. So yes, at times you feel like you have the urge to eat chips. That is normal. At times you just feel like you've missed eating chips. But don't make it a normal thing that each and every day, maybe even twice a day, you're eating the chips or you're eating those junk food.
You can take them once in a while.
Yeah.
Then there is this aspect of physical exercise, and I know most people ignore that aspect of life. It is so important. like if I can testify my individual life. Come 2017, I was ranging at 98 kilograms, and Lois is my prime witness. But all along, I tried to do some physical exercise, both the road work and the gym. So my weight drastically reduced from 98 to 81 for the past 3 years. I know it's a very slow rate, just because I wasn't too committed. But I know you can do more than that. 3 years is good to reduce even more than 20 kilograms. So it's not about weight loss for physical exercise. It's about the concentration, the brain performance, endurance, and also keeping fit, reducing the risk of arthritis, and so on.
So nowadays, like, even that most people, they're just used, because nowadays it's so kind of easy to own a car. People just want to own a car. You get into your car, and most of the time people are just working in an office, and all you do is sit and use the computer and do such kind of things. So you get into the car, sit in the office, get in the car, come back home again. Maybe you have a maid, they'll cook for you, you'll eat, sleep.
Then it becomes
the normal
a cycle.
life continues. People should just like bring exercising. Let it not just be like the physical one, but at times you can just leave the car at home and decide to walk if it is a place where you can walk.
And to add on that, I personally decided to buy a road bicycle for the sake of exercise. Because I noticed if I become used to matatus and the motorbike, my body will be at rest each and every moment. So I decided to challenge my body through riding bikes when going to work and when attaching myself to my day-to-day engagement, so that I can maintain that brain focus throughout. I can limit I can regulate my body weight and so on. Then to slowly I'll be reducing unnecessary fats and bad cholesterol in the body.
Then the other aspect is about sleep. So you find that nowadays so many people, especially due to the internet, I usually call it the internet generation, we are so obsessed in such a way that we deny ourselves the fulfillment of sleep only because we want to stay on our phones until 3 a.m. in the morning, just scrolling through Instagram Reels and TikToks, and the moment you look at the time, you realize it's 3 a.m. or it's 4 a.m. in the morning and you haven't had any sleep. Then you want to wake up at 5 or 6, then go to work. Like, it reduces productivity.
It is so unfair to the body.
It reduces productivity so that you can go to work. Have you ever seen this kind of people? You're seated with them, but they look lost. The brain has to relax. The brain has to take a break. That is why we usually sleep. If it was like our brain was a machine and we don't have to take a break, we could have been working all day and all night. But we need to take a break. So most people find that they just want to work. They want to do other things and deprive themselves of sleep.
It's true. The other aspect of health that you're supposed to consider is the mental health. And it is important for you to know that our minds are dependable on our eyes and our ears. So whatever you listen to and see will always determine the kind of person you'll be. It is also important to note that whenever you consume something into the mind, it goes directly to your innermost mind, which is the subconscious mind. It is the hidden and unnoticed mind. So later on, when you consume things repeatedly on and on, they become part of your system. So the subconscious mind will tend to dictate your actions and the way you behave. So
we start forming some habits.
So even though we like movies, we like watching stuff, we like reading, we like listening to shows and programs. Make sure you define well and do a little bit of research of what you're intending to see or listen. Yeah. So that it won't ruin you later on.
Yeah. And also you find that we usually affect small kids because these kids are growing up, and at times you find that we as parents, we are listening to some shows, watching some movies with them, and yet they are growing. So the moment that they keep on seeing these things like go to their mind, and at times you see your kids behaving in some way, and you start thinking that maybe someone else is teaching them something negative, and yet it is you. Because it's the things that they are watching, the things that they are hearing people saying, that is what they're feeding their minds. And also something else about feeding your mind is that when it comes to the people you talk to, at times the people you talk to can affect you the way you think.
Yes.
Because if I come and start telling you that you can never make it in life, it can affect you in such a way that you won't make it in life because you believe you cannot make it in life.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, because of what people tell you, what you see people doing. And then the other aspect that we have talked about was the sexual life. You find that your physical well-being also is determined by your sexual life. So you find that nowadays people are just so reckless. People just want to have sex casually. People are scared of being pregnant more than they're scared of getting HIV or STIs. So that's why you find that people will get an injection so that they won't get pregnant, then just go and have sex recklessly with anyone because they feel they're safe, they won't get pregnant, but they're not scared they're not using condoms. They're not scared that they're not using condoms, that they're not preventing themselves from STIs and HIV. They just think, if I get an STI, I can go to the chemist and ask for medication over the counter, take it, and I'll be okay. But pregnancy, I'll have this evidence for 9 months, and people will be, So people are not really looking at their health when it comes to their sexual life. But it's something that people are ignoring, and yet it's something that is really quite important. Yeah.
And as we conclude, just to prove that physical health is important, we can refer in the Bible from the 3rd letter of John, chapter 1, verse 2, it says, "Beloved, I pray that you may prosper in all things and be in health, just as your soul prospers." That means even God himself is much concerned about our physical health as a priority factor in life. Catch us every Monday and Friday from 7 p.m. East African time.
Yes, and don't forget to don't forget to subscribe, and click on the notification bell so that you don't miss any other video whenever we post it.
Thank you for watching The Money Mindset. Continue thinking big. Salute.